Hello everyone. So today we are going to see from 100 to 250 of my 365-day challenge, and with I will show you a few of my posts on Instagram, and then I want to help or maybe give suggestions to people who want to do this 365-day challenge on how they can fill their sketchbook, like ways in which you can fill your sketchbook. So 2023, I don't know why Instagram keeps taking me back to the latest that I have drawn. Okay, so now you see that around here where I was doing the endangered species from TJ Maston's Patreon, and then I slowly start. I've spoken a lot about it in one of my sketchbook videos, and if you can, I'll even link it up in the cards here for you to have a look at it. This is where I started Birdtober, and I was mad enough to see. You can see that it is 111. So I love birds. So I was looking when this challenge, I had seen Kavita Arvind do Birdtober the previous year. So I really wanted to do that challenge. So you can always take up, challenges that you want to do during your 365 day. I mean, it is a challenge in itself, but you can also take up other challenges to fill in your days. 365 day challenge, you can pick up anything. I had taken up two challenges actually, both Birdtober and Peachtober. If you are interested in Inktober, all this falls in October though. You can even take the prompts for the previous year and even try doing it. You can even take a 365-day challenge, and you can take the prompts given for each Inktober, and you can start drawing. If you want to get the recognition that to be recognized, you have to do the challenge during that period, so that because everyone will be doing those challenges and people will be searching on hashtags if you post it on Instagram. So doing it during the time of the actual challenge is very important if you want to pick up more artists, or we want to see the art of other artists during that same challenge. So I did Birdtober and Peachtober together. Birdtober was quite, I enjoyed it. Peachtober was a little difficult for me because I had to think of something for the prompts. A few of them that I liked are this Cosmos, and my most favorite was the Heart Crater. You would have seen this in the last sketchbook tour. I will also link that up in the cards. This is my favorite, so I'm planning to make this into a sticker. I absolutely love it. There are so many birds, and but I was a little bad not to include both these drawings as two separate days. I don't know why. So I did a whole bunch for Birdtober in October, and in October. Birdtober and Peachtober got over, and then I just took off and tried making. This is one of my favorites too. You can take one particular subject matter and take pictures of references in different angles and try to make it into a spread. Oh my god, sometimes these words so take a subject and you can take them in different angles and make them into a spread. So this is one thing which will you might enjoy doing this also. So give it a try, see what kind of art you enjoy, and it will really help you. And I love the lotus leaves. So I also liked how this particular flower turned out. So you can still see, and then came one of the biggest things that I felt I ever did was the folktale week. This comes in November. Folktale week. It's about there are 7 prompts, I think. You could check it up. There are 7 prompts, and you could either do an entire story using those 7 prompts if you're able to incorporate it that well, or you try to make a cover illustration for each of the prompts. So it could be anything. Cater it to your liking, and you can go ahead. And I made a particular story about how I got lost in the beach, and I try to incorporate certain extra things, to jazz up the story, and how I finally got back with my father. So I started off with what happened, what is the most common thing I see on the beach, and then a carousel, and how I got lost, and me looking into the sky. I tried to cater the story to the prompts, so I had to change here and there. And I liked the addition of the prompt and the claw of a crab here in everything. This is one of my favorite illustrations. I loved the perspective that I had given from the kind of angle I actually tried to portray the crab and her in the same height, because she was very far. So I really liked this perspective and how they got back together. So and then if you see another idea is you can try collage. So this is entire except for this one, all of this is collage. I stuck all the grass and all of these bits, and I really enjoyed making this. This would also be a fun sticker. Actually, I wanted to make this one as a small version of this to show that it can be a nice sticker. So I really like this one. And this is something that I drew from what my son had played. He had made a train set, and he had played with it, and I took a photo of it and drew. A better thing would have been drawing it live from where I had seen it, but I was afraid my son would play and I wouldn't get the same angle again. So, live sketching at home, if you have children and, with their toys and, children, not everyone gets this. So if you can do live sketching of your children would also be nice. I did a few in the beginning. This is one of my attempts of my son while he was playing something. And of course, a huge thing would be Patreon. If you join Patreon from the artists that you love, they have their own challenges or any drawing the prompts. They would give photographs that they do, which they use for live Zoom calls. So you have there are creators out there who do a lot of the searching work for you, where you have to. This might be helpful on days when you have no inspiration to draw and you don't know what to draw, and you are like you just want to just plunge yourself into drawing, but you don't want to do the thinking part of it. On those days it will help. It will also help on days when you're a lot inspired and you want to join. Sometimes when you join a Zoom call and you see all the references and you want to continue drawing after the Zoom call as well. So you would get quite some boost. If you to start off, you can just join one Patreon. I am on 3-4. Yeah, so that's that. And then I had joined one of Kavita's Advent countdown for sketchbook sweeties. Last December she had conducted. I really enjoyed. What tutorial she gave was on the left side, and what I did on my own is on the right side. Other than where she did a whole double spread herself. For example, this is what she did, and this is my addition to it, and one whole double spread, for example, is this. This is entirely what she had uh, shown as a tutorial. So that filled up a few days of my sketchbook, and I was so happy to finish off last year with my own self portrait, and I was happy with the way it turned out. A very simple portrait. I love birds, so I tried a cookie cartoony version. So you can even add cartoon versions to your own, or try to sketch a character out of the things that you like. And I did a few owls and birds, and this was the time I started exploring with negative space. And after a lot of trials, this actually, I really loved this llama, the way they came, especially since it is done in a tonal sketchbook. I like the tone that I didn't have to do I mean, the negative space once done gives so much of character to it. I really enjoyed my negative space drawings. And this was one of Kavita's Patreon where she said all things blue. And that stirred up a lot of quite the inspiration. And I did a lot of blue only. And there was one yellow only day. And all this is mine. And it went on to 5 days of masks. See, you can take any subject and try drawing it for 5 days. You can even cater this challenge to 5 days of the week, wherein and 2 days you take a break. So for the 5 days, you take one particular subject. For example, I took masks and I drew 5 masks for the 5 days, and I called it that week. So you could actually there are people who say draw hundreds of it, but this might be a start to see at least if you like that subject. Try 5 times to draw that subject. If you like it, you go ahead with it. You can try 100 times of the same subject. And this was one of my favorites. And again, this is also Onmar's Patreon. This is my Gansai Tambi set where she drew the entire palette, and I also kept my palette for reference, and I drew. This is the class that I had with her, and I tried it again. So I really enjoyed all this. And then again, I took 5 days of dogs, and I wrote something under it, which I really wanted to try, like what are you looking at, or I love you and I miss you. So, and I finally my cousin asked me to draw her dog, and I was so happy to do this. He is Tony, and he's an old, much loved fellow. So this is 5 days of dogs. So you can try. See, I drew only the head or up until the chest portion, and finally I drew an entire dog. So you can try various versions. See, this was one day which was absolutely random, and I just drew whatever came to my head, whatever creature came to my head. So self-portraits, huge inspiration from Sophie McPike, and to try out self-portraits. Every day I would look different in my own eyes and draw them differently. Yeah, I'm just trying out portraits, and this was for my YouTube video, the one with just with Gansai Tambi. So yeah, so I really enjoyed all this. See, this is almost 252 days. This was one of the exercises from Patreon as to what background. You check it out on Kavita's Patreon. It won't be right if I said all that. So and then I tried the same, but I didn't try the same, but with these colors, when I used it from Gansai Tambi, I really wanted to use those colors, and I tried to make these mushrooms. So there you go. You have quite a few tips, and you can even try portraits in general if you would like, or live sketching of models. There are some websites, I think Sketch It, or I'm not sure about that, but if you search, there are places where you have models and there are timed poses. You have them even on YouTube, and it would be nice to sketch models. Urban sketching, of course, that's another thing. If you like to go out and sketch whatever you want, maybe trees, the scene that you see beautiful landscapes, anything. Urban sketching is one. Or if you want to journal about your day, art journaling is a huge thing. You go somewhere, you attach all that to your sketchbook, and you draw the most what you like about that place. So you can take up challenges. We'll have a quick run through of all of them. You can take up challenges. You can take subjects in different angles and create a spread. You can do a story, an entire story. Need not be necessarily for folktale week. It can be something that you want to do. So you can do any story that you like. Collage is something that I try out here and there. I enjoy it. And then there is live sketching of your toys and children at home as well as outside, which then becomes urban sketching. And then you can also live sketch models, like quick figure sketching figures, and then you can try creating cartoons or characters out of your own, the things that you like. Anything, it could be plants. You can even try turning them into characters. Any Patreon that you join, they have their own challenges or their references for Zoom calls, etc. You can find them there. Then you have a subject which you can take for 5 days. If you like them, take it even to 100 days. Like Jess Carp does 100 heads, 100 hands. You can go see her videos. They're really beautiful to look at. Not everything you need to do needs to be as finished, but you can try finished sketches as well. And then you can try self-portraits, huge inspiration once again from Sophie McPike. And then you can try other portraits. If you want to get good at portraits, you can try caricature if that's what you like. And then comics. If you like comics, why not try comics? So there is so much. You can do a jumble of this, whatever suits or tickles your fancy. So enjoy your 365-day challenge, cater it to your liking with all these things that you can try out, and get cracking on those sketchbooks. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.